Huh?
Huh? Bap. Bap. Hi, TikTok, and also YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Welcome to Fresh Floppies, episode 123. In cold open, done. Nailed it. Let's move on.
So cold.
CultPOP. What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're listening to Fresh Floppies, a show wherein Jeremy and I talk about this week's comic books.
This isn't them.
This isn't. These are trade paperbacks. Over there, behind you, is the this week's comics.
We're not going to turn you around.
We're going to discuss without spoilers. Is the word.
Yep.
Anything you want to tell the people?
I hope you're doing fine.
Oh, that's nice. Which is fine.
Yeah, just
you know
fine.
what? Bare minimum. Hope you're doing fine. We are going to talk about. I'll tell you what they are in advance. Absolute Batman 15, DC KO Wonder Woman versus Lobo one shot.
Part of All Fight Month.
Ordained from Bad Idea, The Darkness from Image, and one other thing. What's the other thing?
And The End 2099 from Marvel.
Oh yeah, word.
Yeah. That was a couple words, but yeah.
I'm Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass folks. So get in here and buy my stuff. Buy these things specifically. Lots of them.
But
They're
that's
trade
Mr.
paperbacks.
Destructo to you.
That's right, if you're nasty. All right, you start us off with Absolute Batman number 15, because I am 4 issues behind, I think. Last I left off,
Casual.
the Batman was still in Arc M, which is like this underground city, and getting actually hammed up by Absolute Bane.
Yeah, so
That's where I left off.
Yeah, where you left off, which is basically the previous story arc was the whole discovery of Arc M, which is a detention center of sorts, is actually hiding a giant underground city beneath it, where Bane is, and this version of Bane is honestly very similar to the old version, different origin, but he gets massive.
Yeah.
So Arc M, or rather Batman, gets captured by the Arc M folks. They start pumping him full of venom, basically using him as a test subject. After a while, he breaks out, yada yada. That was the last
Issue?
story arc. I won't spoil exactly how that arc ends, but that has concluded. But now, I don't know why I'm showing you, it's already there. Absolute Batman number 15, we get the first appearance of like this version of the Joker. Actually, the end of issue 14, we got the very first appearance, but he was just on a little video call. We didn't really get the whole image.
And I feel like we've been getting little teases of him throughout the series, right? Like tiny little things about the man who never laughs. Like, we've heard of him.
Oh, have we?
We've heard about this guy.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
But I believe you.
Maybe I made it up. I don't know. I can't be
you're
trusted.
Probably right. I loved this. Just to start off, this was fresh AF for me.
Yeah.
This was really cool. This issue is basically all origin of this version of the Joker, full origin story. But I was just telling JD before we hit record that most origin story issues tend to bore me. It just feels a little bit too much like exposition, but the content of this was so cool. And also it was all based, it was like conversational exposition between Alfred and Bruce.
Absolute Bruce.
Absolute Bruce.
Everyone should be called Absolute whatever their
and
name is.
Absolute Alfred.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I'd honestly, very, very cool backstory to this character. Very interesting persona to this character. I love it.
I also enjoyed it.
Nice.
I also really liked it. I didn't know what to expect other than what we saw, which was this cover. I think was released quite a while ago, several weeks ago, and people have been like, "Well, that's disgusting," and that's kind of all I knew about it. And it matches, right? This version of the Joker, I think, matches what they've been doing with Absolute Batman thus far. A lot of like even what was it? Sandman, Snowman, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, Snowman.
Mr. Freeze is like very elongated, and like everyone in the Absolute universe is like sort of a gnarled monster version.
All the bad guys are just monstrous.
Yes. So they just really lean into it here, and I like the way that this story plays out is 3 different stories of Alfred telling Bruce the origin story of the man who never laughs, and each one gets slightly different and worse. and I think is very cool. I think it was a very cool way to set up the mythology of this in-universe character
Yeah.
from within. You know, it's not this omniscient narrator. It's Alfred, absolute Alfred, telling us, here's what the story is, here's what some people believe, and then here's what I believe.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool.
And I think
this
that's
was
why
really fun.
The second time they go to like tell the same story but a different way.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I turned the page and I saw a similar format to when we started the first story, I was like, oh, I don't want to like reread this.
Yeah.
But no, as soon as I got like a couple lines of dialogue, it was really good.
I felt the same way. Yeah, I did the same thing with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie.
Oh,
where like Frankenstein, or I'm sorry, Dr. Frankenstein tells his story, and then it's like, here's the monster, and it's his turn. I'm like, please don't start from the beginning. This movie's already too long.
That was my exact thought.
Yeah,
as soon as they were like, chapter 3, his story. And I was like, no, please. No. But no, it picked up for it. Anyway, that's also a great movie if you want to go.
Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah. We reviewed it on the live stream.
I did.
Wednesday nights.
I wasn't invited.
So, Fresh AF for Absolute Batman 15, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. And worth noting, I actually think you could jump on here if you wanted to.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, it's as much as what I just told you is, you know, the previous story arc that leads up to this.
Yeah.
It's actually not referenced in the slightest, other than they do mention Arc M at one point.
Yeah.
But now you know what Arc M is, and that's all that really matters, and arguably didn't matter. But I think this would be a great point to jump on. And then by the time you probably get far enough in the series to be any kind of confused, the trade paperbacks of the last 2 arcs will be out, and you'll be fine. Or 2 or 3 arcs.
Yes. Highly recommend. Very good. DCKO All Fight Month. Wham, wham, wham. This is Wonder Woman versus Lobo one-shot. So something that I discovered recently with regard to All Fight Month is there are a bunch of one-shots like this, like Wonder Woman versus Lobo, like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, Superman versus Captain Atom. And I thought that was it. Turns out there are a bunch of other fights happening this month that look exactly like this, but they are taking place within the confines of ongoing issues. Yeah. So what is it? Aquaman comes out this week, just part of the regular Aquaman
number 12.
Johnsky, number 12. But then the cover of it is Aquaman versus Hawkman?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's another one of these slobber knocker fights, but in the confines of Aquaman's book.
And they're like alternating. So round 1, they're calling it, was Superman versus Captain Atom, its own one-shot. And then this week we got Aquaman 12, which is Aquaman versus Hawkman. In the same week, we got DCKO, Wonder Woman, Lobo. Yeah, and then next week it's Titans and then a one-shot. And then it's The Flash and then Superman and then a one-shot. So they made it pretty messy, which I really don't appreciate, because we got to this stage of this event is what I thought the whole event was going to be.
Yes.
And I was really excited.
Yes.
And I have enjoyed the Superman versus Captain Atom and this book. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they've made it purposefully so inconvenient to follow, especially because they have, like, what's the word? Interstitials?
Yeah.
At the end, which for the last couple issues have been at the end of the main story, that are taking place on the Justice League Unlimited Watchtower, which is honestly arguably a more pivotal part of the story than like these main fights.
Oh.
In my opinion, I don't know if you read it. But this is a spoiler for a couple issues back. But we find out that Booster Gold, or basically Darkseid, is within Booster Gold, inhabiting Booster Gold.
Yes.
And he is starting to wreak havoc on the Justice League Watchtower. So we're getting snippets of what's happening there at the end of each of these issues. So they're making it even more essential to follow these issues while making it less convenient to do so. Mm-hmm. And that pisses me off.
And as a retailer who tried in vain a month ago to be like, hey, people who have subscriptions with me, do you want DCKO by itself? Do you want DCKO and the one-shots? Do you want all of the tie-ins? And most people go, no, I don't want all the tie-ins. I just want the one-shots. However, this week's Aquaman, I would say, is a one-shot because it's just Aquaman versus Hawkman. So had I known that in advance, and again, I could have just maybe paid more attention and figured this out a month ago. I didn't realize until recently. I could have had those one-shots for all of these people. Instead, I got it for my one Aquaman subscriber who just dropped Aquaman anyway. So, yeah, I don't have enough. I should order more. Maybe I'll still be able to get them in. But, again, I don't know if people will want it because technically it's not a one-shot. It's a Aquaman issue.
And then
drives me nuts.
And when it comes to like talking to customers, a mindset that I've been struggling to get into that is usually makes events easier is being like, oh, follow the main event. And then if there's other context of characters that you enjoy, just pick those up along the way. You don't have to read every single connecting, like, branched issue. Mm-hmm. But now they format it in a way where you almost do.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you making it harder than it already is?
I think I guess I'll have to start asking people, do you care about Aquaman versus... Yeah, I mean, ask them about the specific fight that's about to go down. Yeah. Anywhomst, Wonder Woman versus Lobo is the actual issue we're here to discuss. What did you think of
this issue itself? Very fresh for me.
Very fresh?
Now that we're done complaining about the whole format.
Yeah. I'll tell you whomst. Oh, yeah. By Jones? Who's Jones? Jones and Howard. So, Joëlle Jones, who's usually a really great artist, is writing this one, Joëlle Jones, but then Jason Howard and Carrie Nord and Daniel Bayliss are on art. So
I really enjoyed the art in this, actually.
Yeah, it's fun.
The three styles don't clash, which is nice.
No.
That said, I do like the first style the best, which was from, I immediately forgot.
That's Josh Howard.
Josh Howard's.
He did
art in the first third of the book. I do like the best, but it was fun.
I think maybe he was on Astounding Wolfman, which is part of the Invincible universe books. I think that was him. But yeah, this was fun. This is a bunch of silliness. It's 3 rounds. I didn't read Captain Adam versus Superman. Was that 3 rounds?
It was 3 rounds.
So was it the same format here, where each round is a different sort of version of the characters almost?
Yeah, they sort of set up the limits within that round 1 Superman versus Captain Adam, where the whole shtick is they are forced into an environment in round 1 as they are, and then they fight it out. And Heart of Apocalypse chooses that round 1. Mm-hmm. But then round 2, I think Heart of Apocalypse chooses the environment again, but each contender gets to choose any version of themselves. Yeah. And on in the meta sense, it is, any universe, any timeline, you'll see weird versions of these characters that you haven't seen before.
That's kind of fun and stupid. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I
didn't know they were going to do that.
There's a version of Lobo here that I've never seen before.
That version of Lobo is from the New 52 when the DC universe stopped and then rebooted completely new with the Jeff Johns Justice League and all that sort of stuff. There was that sort of like the svelte, sexier version, almost emo-looking version of Lobo. Yeah. I kind of cackled when he showed up in this. I was like, what? Oh, okay. And I believe someone even says, what in the New 52 is this? Yeah. It's pretty cute. So, yeah, it's a little too cute by half, as Noel would say. Mm-hmm. But it was also kind of fun. I didn't hate it.
Yeah. So far, these...
They're pretty fresh.
Yeah, so far these versus issues are about as cute as I anticipated. You can only go so far when a pretty thick book is dedicated to a fight between only 2 people. Yeah. It definitely got a little bit too cutesy at the end, towards the last third. Round 3 of it was a little goofy, a little bit more goofy. Mm-hmm. That said, though, I really enjoyed that they referenced something called Karjitsu. And there's not many people in the world who know it exists, but I do watch it on occasion.
Wait! Yeah. I thought it was a made-up word for this comic book. Karjitsu?
No, Karjitsu is people fighting inside of cars. It's basically like wrestling MMA inside of a car. It's a real thing. It's not a big thing, but it's a real thing. And it's brought up here.
That's hilarious.
I was very surprised and entertained to see.
Yeah, I thought that was just a word they made up for this particular issue. What if they were fighting with cars?
Everything that in that big page of goofy competitions, everything in there is real.
That's hilarious. So I would say you don't need this, right? If you're reading DCKO, you don't need Wonder Woman versus Lobo. But if you like Lobo, I think this is for Lobo lovers, not particularly Wonder Woman lovers.
It's not a great Wonder Woman issue.
Yeah, but it is a great Lobo issue. Yeah. But yeah, don't go into this being looking for accurate versions of Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not going to get it.
Maybe in a few days, go online, check who won, get some context. But otherwise, I think it's a fun time. It's Lobo doing exactly what you expect Lobo to do, and Wonder Woman responding exactly the way you expect her to. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot of surprises here. It's just for funsies.
How do you rate it on the freshness scale?
It was very fresh for me. It's on par with what I expected. So
Nice.
I'm happy
This
with
was pretty fresh for me.
Fair.
Yeah. What's next? I'll tell you what. A book you didn't read, so get out of here, Jack.
Okay.
This
That's
is
not my name.
Ordained by Robert Venditti and Trevor Hairsine and Dave Stewart. It's a bad idea. The company that puts it out, the publisher, is Bad Idea. And it's exactly what it looks like. So on the cover, we've got a priest. A punchy priest. We got a priest with some bloody knuckles. And it says, relentless bone-crushing symphonic carnage of Derek Kolstad, writer and director of John Wick.
Love that.
So this is the thing that I wanted to read the most this week because of the cover. Now, presentation is butts. The presentation is butts.
But
and
I like butts.
bad butts.
Oh, bad butts?
It's bad butts. Stinky butts. This is newsprint paper. So it's not glossy paper or thick paper. It's like newspaper paper. And there are a couple of pages that are like, it's like they were printed at 70% opacity, meaning most of the book has dark blacks and full colors, but there are a couple of instances where for no good reason, and I thought maybe it was a storytelling technique until I read the page and I was like, oh no, there's a problem with
that's
printing.
rough.
So it looks, you can see there's a character talking and you can barely read the words in the word bubble. Yeah, that's up close too.
Wait, that's... Oh.
That's an accident. This is a printing problem.
Yeah, that's gross.
And this happens at least twice throughout the book where the blacks all of a sudden become light grays. The text on the page is very light and hard to read, especially for my old ass eyes. Look at those crow's feet.
Your ass eyes.
My ass eyes. So yeah, that's the presentation. I give not fresh, barely fresh, stale as hell. The story,
and it's $5.99 too.
and also $5.99.
I actually prefer newsprint if the price reflects it.
Right. I was like, you know what? I bet it's a $2.99 book. Nope, $5.99. The story, however, is really fun. It's exactly what you what I expected looking at this cover, where we've got a priest. He has been called to the hospital to give last rites for a dying patient. The patient turns out to be a criminal, a mob boss, even though the mob doesn't exist. It's a mob boss. It's a fictional mob boss. And don't come for me, mob. And
Come for me.
come for him. He loves it. And so the mob boss is dying and he's super sad. He's like, oh, I meant to be a better person. And I kept thinking I would have time to be a better person. And now I'm out of time. And he seemed genuinely penitent. Is that the word? Repentant? And I don't think it's a spoiler. The mob boss is like, he feels better. And he decides, now that I feel better, hey, everyone, go kill that priest because I gave my confession to that guy and he knows what I did. So let's go get him. And this is basically the mob hunting, which is fictional. The mob hunting down this
When did
priest.
we get so scared of the mob?
What do you mean? I'm not scared. They don't even exist. Why would I be afraid of the mob? They don't exist. Don't come for my business. Don't burn my business down.
Does the mob have presence in Philadelphia?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just being a goof. I'm just a real goofy guy.
I'm just curious.
Fictional mob. Don't come for me. I'm just a goof. Anyway, this book is really, really fun. I really enjoyed this. And of course, you don't know what the priest's past is, but at a certain point, he's talking to someone. He's like, well, if they let me in, they'll let anybody in, kind of thing, where it's like they hints at a past and then wrecks shop on some mobsters. I don't think any of this is a spoiler from the cover image. So this was fresh AF for me. I really enjoyed this, detracting lots of points for presentation, paper, and printing.
Yeah, that's a bummer because like I would rarely suggest that a digital version is better because I would prefer that people go to physical stores and support stores like this one.
Yeah. My son likes to eat.
That's true. I don't have a son.
Also, all jokes aside, I try digital reading. I do it when I'm in a pinch, and it's fine. But honestly, nothing compares for me to like holding a book, turning the pages, all that sort of stuff.
No, I agree.
If you're going on a trip or something, I'll load up my iPad with a couple of things, but I'll also still take some trade paperbacks with me anyway. And this, maybe wait for the trade paperback on this book.
Or, I mean, if you're lucky, maybe
read
JD just got unlucky and it was just a bad issue.
That's true.
It's very
I
possible.
mean, they're all going to be on newsprint. I didn't get the newsprint copy.
Well, true.
I
but
got
in
the
terms of like
poorly published
if
copy.
it's a printing issue. I mean, if you're going into your local shop, maybe just flip through it real quick.
Yeah.
See if all the text is legible.
I'll tell you what, if you're listening, watching, stalking, email me at cultpopgo@gmail.com and let me know if you have a copy of Ordained from Bad Idea, #1. And let me know if it was just my copy. Maybe your copy looks great. Because most of the book does look great.
Yeah.
Oh, the art by Trevor Hairsine's great. He's a guy who's been around for decades. And at first, I don't think I really appreciated his art. But over the years, I've really come to appreciate his storytelling. So, like, the art's fantastic. The story's bonkers. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. But purchase, what's it called? Buyer beware.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Maybe flip through the copy on the shelf at your local comic shop before buying it and see if you can read all the words. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got.
But if you drop the issue and you get your grubby hands all over it, you got to buy it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. That happened the other day. Someone dropped some books. I said, you bought it.
Next, we have The End 2099, which is by, this is from Marvel.
It's from Marvel Comics.
Written
yes.
by Steve Orlando. Art is by Ibraim Roberson.
Sure.
Ibraim?
Ibraim?
I don't know. There's no Ibraim.
Oh, Ibraim?
Ibraim Roberson. Yeah. I really want there to be a T in Roberson. There's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is, over the years, we get drip fed 2099 stories.
It's true.
With no prior warning. Like, 2099 issues just come out, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is probably some fun standalone thing. But then it will still reference 2099 stories that happened like last year, which I don't hate, but it makes me want to. Like, I feel like I have to go back and read so much 2099 content, which, to be fair, is actually not that much. Anyway, I enjoyed this. This was middle of the road fresh for me. This is basically an apocalyptic type character. It has come along and is threatening the universe and Earth, as
What
is
a
typical.
dick.
Yeah, typical
Ugh.
comic things.
Dickery.
Actually, I will tell you who the big bad is because it's revealed pretty quickly, and I also think is the most interesting part. It is Noel, the symbiote god, effectively, has bonded to Galactus to make Abyssus.
Is this from a previous series?
See, that's not to my knowledge. I haven't come across this characterization of Galactus or any characterization in 2099 at all. However, I have not read everything in 2099. I've probably picked up most 2099 stuff in the past, like maybe 2 years, 3 years. But even some of the original stuff I haven't read yet. So, there might be reference to this Abyssus character at some point. But
it is the first page.
Yeah, the very first page is seeing this combination. It takes a few pages to figure out who the combination is, but they reveal it pretty quickly.
That's pretty fun.
For me, that was actually the best part of the book. I really like that character. You do see some conversations happen between Galactus and Noel, the two of them arguing. And then the book opens with him destroying a planet, and then the entire universe is starting to panic and be like, how do we handle this? How do we adjust? You get to see all these different branching events in 2099, which gives a lot more context than I've ever had previously, personally. And then an unlikely character comes along to agree to try to stop Abyssus, aka Galactus with Noel.
Yeah. No lactus.
No, yeah, that actually I would have liked that better.
No lactus.
Abyssus just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah. The art on this is great.
The art is awesome. The writing was fun. It does make the occasional reference to some old 2099 stories, but you really actually don't need much context here, which is nice. So you could probably pick it up if you're interested in the universe or the context here. I would say, I think I already said like middle of the road fresh. Just because. I don't know why. The 2099 content, I always just want to like wait it out and read everything in trades because I feel like it would make more sense as opposed to trying to pick things up a year later. which they do. But otherwise, I think it's a fun story. Towards the end, we get to see a bunch of very odd characters, some 2099 versions of characters we love, and then some even other universe versions. It gets very complicated. And then the very end has a reveal of a significant, but I think brand new character that we haven't seen before. So I'm very interested to see where that goes. I would say if you're interested in this universe, pick it up, go for it.
I keep trying to be interested in 2099.
Yeah.
Even in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s when they first came about, and I was like, oh, a future version of Spider-Man, cool. And I don't care. I've even went back because of the Spider-Verse movie. I was like, you know what? Let me go read Spidey 2099 again, because I think it was Peter David who wrote it. I'm pretty sure. And I'm a big Peter David fan. And I made it like 2 issues in and gave up. I just don't care about 2099 for some reason.
You know, I gotta say, I actually don't care about the characters that much, but I really enjoy the ambiance and vibe of this universe. For what that's worth. Like the same way that I think like the Blade Runner movies are best enjoyed just sitting back and like immersing yourself into that ambiance that they establish.
Yeah.
2099 almost feels the same way to me, where I'm like, I would actually like to just, appreciate these weird characterizations of characters that I love otherwise, and also just see how they're changing the world. It's, I'm actually talking myself into upping it to very fresh.
Okay.
I think I enjoyed this more than I thought.
It's book of the week.
No, definitely not. That is absolutely Batman. Absolutely. I would say if you're invested in 2099 stuff, pick it up. Otherwise, maybe check out the trade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do singles if you're not particularly invested already.
It's a cool cover by what's his name? I like this Spider-Man 2099 cover.
That is a cool cover.
I'll tell you who it is. It's Gabriel Dell'Otto.
Did you look at the last page yet? If you don't care about spoilers?
I don't.
Okay, look at the last page. Because that's the character.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
Shit.
isn't it?
Okay, that was unexpected.
See,
I like
that's
this.
What I'm saying. The last character reveal seems very significant, but I think they're brand new, and
that's pretty rad.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a good last page.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't expecting that. That's fun. All right, do we got anything? We got one more thing to wrap up?
I think just the darkness. Right?
Oh, the darkness from Image Comics. I'll tell you what. It's Marc Silvestri and Ed Benes. The darkness was created, in case you don't know, Jeremy.
I don't.
Because you didn't know.
I didn't.
Garth Ennis and Marc Silvestri and David Wohl created the darkness back in the, I want to say early 90s. It was part of like early Image stuff. No, not Image. I think, was it Wildstorm?
Oh,
Shoot.
That's not even a name that I know.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Image wound up acquiring other little, I think, imprints, and then also, it was Top Cow. That's what it was, Top Cow. Anywhoomst, Garth Ennis created The Darkness a long time ago, and I thought it was pretty cool when it first came around, and then there was a character who was part of that universe, which was the Witchblade, who actually wound up having her own TV show for a little while. But this Witchblade was kind of the good guy, Sarah Pizzelli. She's a cop who's got this Witchblade, which is like almost, it's kind of like a symbiotic armor, which was very big in the early 90s. And so the darkness, Jackie Estacado, who is a mafia hitman, which doesn't exist, he gets the darkness. It's like passed from son or father to son.
It's like a curse where, I don't know, what are you, controlling demons or something?
Yeah. I think it's something to do with the shadows and like a shadow dimension. But then you've also got these like fun little gremlins that you hang out with and help you murder a lot of people. So yeah, that's what that is. What did you think? This was your first experience with the darkness.
This is my first experience. I didn't realize that there were previous iterations in this universe.
Have you heard of the Witchblade?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
There she is. That's Sarah.
Oh, that's her. Oh,
Pizzini. Sarah Pizzini.
So that makes sense, because there's a page where like I feel like I'm supposed to care about who that is, and I didn't.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But oh man, it's tough. Story-wise, and honestly, some of the writing, I would say very fresh. It's context or just expectations. It's cheesy. It's after about a few pages, I was like, oh, this feels like a 2002 movie. It's
Kind of.
It's very edgy. It's also very, I'm hoping, intentionally flawed in virtually every aspect of its representation of female characters.
Yeah.
All the women in this are presented in a way that you would expect.
It's a little misogynistic.
Little. But if we establish those expectations,
Yeah.
I think it was very fresh story-wise. I think the writing, honestly, the dialogue was cheesy, but somehow didn't feel too forced for me. Like,
Capiche?
yeah, like it's cheesy dialogue, but it's coming from cheesy characters. Like,
Yeah.
it all feels like it fits and like it's right. And the story itself I'm very interested in because it does that thing where, like, it's telling the story from one guy's perspective mostly.
Yeah.
And it's leaving a lot of context out. Like, you can tell there's a lot of lore and details behind these things that I'm hoping we learn more about. But I actually am absolutely going to start picking this one up.
Yeah. You like
go on.
misogyny? You're into it?
Yeah.
You're like, I hate women.
That's it.
I love the way that this book hates women. No,
That was the selling point, actually. You told me that when you handed it to me.
Oh man, you're gonna love hating women. No, everything you say is true. I also thought it was kind of fun. The character himself sucks. Like Jackie Estacado. The book, I don't know if the book itself is misogynistic, but the character himself, the character Jackie, very much is.
And hey, maybe there's something to be said for the stories being told from his perspective.
Yeah,
And that's how he is. But
speaking of lore, though. You mentioned there's a lot of lore, and it's been a long time since I read the original Darkness by Garth Ennis way back in the long ago, but I feel like we didn't get all of this lore in the first issue. I got to a certain point reading this issue where I was like, all right, guys, let's wrap this up. But I also understand, like, you're setting up a lot of lore to try to hook your people in, your readers. So,
it's a very fine line.
It felt a little lengthy, and I was kind of like, we could probably stop a couple pages back with a cliffhanger of some sort. But then I started to, like, appreciate all the lore that they were dropping, and then I was back in. I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't know this about the original Darkness, and I think some of the bits are actually kind of funny.
I agree.
There's a couple of little bits in here that I was like, oh, that's fun.
And, once we hit here, I had those thoughts that you were mentioning, where I was like, I feel like we've gone a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm suddenly getting more than my brain is okay with right now. But again, I agree. It kept going. And I was like, okay, I'm down still.
Yeah. So know what you're getting into. This reads like an early aughts comic book.
Yeah.
That I just picked up out of the back issues now. I just went like this and went, whoop, maybe I'll try this book. So does not have modern sensibilities. This is very much a 90s comic book, edgelordy and all.
Edgelord is a great word for
it. It's very edgelordy. But it's also kind of fun if that is not a huge turnoff for you. So take that as you will. So yeah, I think it was pretty fresh. My inflection is for pretty fresh. Pretty fresh.
So
it's pretty fresh.
Yeah. So the high pitch pretty.
It's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would tend to agree, maybe verging on like very fresh. Like I said, I'm almost definitely going to keep with the story, but there's definitely some very valid complaints there.
So the thing I'm curious about is, speaking of Witchblade, there has been an ongoing Witchblade for a while now.
Oh, right now.
And I don't know if the Witchblade that is currently going on actually ties into this, and this is the Witchblade, or if this is an all-new continuity of the Darkness and the Witchblade kind of starting from scratch. Because I believe there was a new Witchblade that came out last week maybe, or maybe it's this week. So I don't know how these two books are going to tie in. It would be very cool if, given my druthers, I would say the Witchblade book has been going for a little while now, and now we're just getting to the Darkness part of the Witchblade mythology. And if these two books start to intertwine, like if we see in the newest Witchblade Sarah Pizzini doing what she's doing in this issue, that might be pretty rad.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But you've got like the Angelus, you've got the Witchblade, you've got the Darkness. He's sort of setting up all the sides. And where I started to get pulled back into this issue was, after I'd already kind of started checking out, was the conversation. Jackie wakes up the next morning and he's having a conversation with two different sides. Literally, I would say an angel and a demon on his shoulders. That
was a cool scene, yeah.
And that scene of the two sides trying to convince Jackie to join their side, very compelling. I thought that was really well done. So yeah, that's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Pretty fresh. Yeah.
If you're interested in edgy hell versus heaven type of vibe, go for it. If you're not,
then
have
don't.
fun not hating women.
Yeah.
Which is congratulations. You're a better person for not reading this book, probably.
Is that everything? What are you looking forward to reading this week that we haven't gotten to yet? I'm going to go over to the shelf and look.
Yeah, I'm also gonna look. Is this last week's stuff up here? What are you doing? You stinker.
Some of last week's books.
Oh, he's looking forward to number 2 of The Beauty. I can't remember. I think I might have read this. It wasn't totally my vibe, but if I recall correctly, JD was a big fan of number 1, right? Or no?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The Beauty number 2 is the coolest STD ever.
I'll tell you, whereas Bad Idea Publishing or whatever they're called is putting out newsprint books with shoddy printing, a la Ordained.
Isn't this
Ignition?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ignition is putting out top quality presentation for their books with cardstock covers, gorgeous colors. Look at that. And
you don't see a lot of purple like that.
Nah.
It's very nice.
And it's throughout parts of the book. And the paper is great. Like Ignition is a company that either they're brand new or I've just never paid attention to them, but I'm certainly checking out what Ignition is putting out recently and kind of being impressed. So Beauty is a follow-up to a series that started 10 years ago, and it's about an STD that when you get it, you become beautiful, but you may or may not literally explode. So, but then there's also like a murder mystery that gets set up in the first issue. So yeah, this is off to a great start.
And honestly,
I jumped in. I never read the original Beauty, so you can jump in with number 1 that came out last month.
You know what I really like, which is a side note, and just talk about presentation. Unlike most comics, this actually has like a summary on the back, like a book.
Like a novel.
Yeah, like a normal novel. Mm-hmm. And at a glance, it's giving a lot of really good context. Mm-hmm. I would definitely still pick up number 1.
I wish every comic book did this. Dude, or at least the previously on. Give me a preview.
Yeah, dude.
I have ADHD, brother. And for me to remember all the stuff I read a month ago,
credit, Marvel isn't my favorite right now, but credit where it's due, at least they have previouslys in their books.
I love previouslys.
DC has been doing it for events.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're SOL.
And I do kind of need it for DCKO.
Yes.
Every DCKO book, I go, wait, what's happening with DCKO? Yeah. What's this book about? Something about a king god.
And the fact
guy?
that DCKO traces back to Absolute Power from like a year and a half ago is
awesome.
Crazy. Anyway,
ridiculous.
We love previously. We love summaries.
Give us summaries and previously's. I am not a smart person. I need to refresh. Sometimes I'll read a whole ass issue to catch up and then realize by the end of the book, oh, I already read this whole issue before.
Dude, same.
Like, how did I get through this entire issue and then realize, oh, I did read this? Because I'm a dummy. So yeah, Ignition's great. Bad Idea. Get your shit together.
I'm just opening my pull list. Oh, I've been really Blood and Thunder. I want to say number 8 came out today.
Oh, Blood and Thunder. Yeah.
I've really been enjoying
the lady with the blood hair.
Yeah, we talked about it when number 1 came out. Mm-hmm. It's fairly often that like for various indie stories, I'll keep them on my pull list, but then don't manage to keep up with it just because they fall by the wayside. This one I've been putting active effort to keep up with. It's a very it's sci-fi, but in a much more muted sense where it's all happening from the perspective of one person. They're not like hitting you with a whole bunch of like universal lore type stuff.
Yeah.
But basically, in summary, it's one woman who is half human, half alien, and of course, constantly suffering with her identity because of that.
25% blood.
Yeah, and her hair is blood. Don't worry about it. Her and her honestly hilarious AI robot gun hunting down a big bad who we're starting to find out might not be so bad. But it's good stuff. It's fun.
As much as I hate AI in real life, I love AI in fiction. In Void Rivals in the Energon universe, I love Handroid.
Yeah, that one.
The snarky. He's just a robot hand, but he talks and he's real snarky. I love that. Another book that I want to catch up on. Tom Taylor. If you don't know, Tom Taylor wrote the best Nightwing run of the past maybe 20 years, and he finished that. He's on Detective now, writing Batman, which is also very good. But he also has this all ages book called C.O.R.T. Children of the Round Table. And this is about the weapons from the actual Round Table of Arthurian legend. And those weapons are imbued with the personalities of the knights that held them. And so now they have picked a new bunch of kids to wield these weapons. And this is an all ages book that is really, really fun. If you're looking for oh, this is DC. No kidding. For some reason, I never equated it with DC. But yeah, this is really, really fun. It's called C.O.R.T, C.O.R.T, Children of the Round Table. And if you're looking for something to get your kids this Christmas or holiday, whatever, grab them some of these. These are really fun. There's only 4 issues out, so you're still at the beginnings. But yeah, this is really, really fun.
And you know what? Honorable mention that I haven't been reading, but I feel like because I just see Geiger on the shelf. I feel like I've heard multiple people come into the store recently.
Yes.
And love that universe.
It's from Image Comics. Can you grab that?
Yeah.
Image Comics. It's the Ghost Machine imprint of Image Comics, spearheaded by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank and Peter J. Tomasi and all these rad creators that I've loved for decades, who've worked for like DC and Marvel and all that. Mostly DC, I think. But yeah, Geiger is not brand new. Started with the pandemic. But this is I would say a new version of a superhero. The thing I like about the Ghost Machine books is that you can't really peg them in a certain slot. I need to figure out a better way to say that.
You can if you try harder.
It is genre bending. It's kind of a superhero book. It's kind of it's definitely a post-apocalyptic book. It's just really, really fun. And it's drawn by Gary Frank, who's one of the all-time greats. Gary Frank is a bonkers creator. I love that dude. So yeah, people have been coming in. It's been building and building. It started off pretty slow for my readers. And I've got people coming in and being like, get me all the Ghost Machine. So Geiger, Redcoat, Rook Exodus.
I only know those 3.
And then there's also Hyde Street, which is like a horror book that they're putting out. There's a couple of family-friendly books by Peter J. Tomasi. So yeah, check out Ghost Machine. Pick up the first volume of Geiger, which has the first miniseries that came out during the pandemic. And then that did so well that there's an ongoing Geiger right now. So yeah, it's about basically the first couple of pages of Geiger is there's a gentleman who has built a bomb shelter. He has a wife and a child. A bomb goes off, the nuke goes off, and his family runs into the bomb shelter, but the neighbors are trying to get in. So the dad leaves the bomb shelter and gets caught in the blast. And so he's basically this radioactive, he's not a superhero. He's not a vigilante. Like, he's just this radioactive guy who's got these, are they isotopes? Is that what those are called? And he becomes this like,
I did not do well in chemistry.
Skeleton guy in a shroud. But then he can turn back and forth into like a regular dude. And then there's also Redcoat, who is like a John Constantine, if John Constantine was a Redcoat and was also immortal. So yeah, it's a really fun universe. Check it out. All right, we did it. Is that it?
That's it for me.
We did it. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Tonight, Wednesday nights, we go live on YouTube. And tonight we're going to be taking a look at Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. We went and got to see it in the theaters. So I think me and Noel and maybe Jeremy, if he gets off his duff. I think Alice can't join us for this one tonight, but she'll be back next week. Love you. It's true. So yeah, we'll be talking about Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair Wednesday night. Depends on when this releases, when we put out the actual episode. All right, that's it. We did it. We love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Come to JD's Hero Complex in Manayunk, Philadelphia. Buy some comics if comics are your jam. And
or
if they're
call
not,
them.
why are
Emails
you
out too.
Oh, that's true. I mail out. You can email us at jdsherocomplex@gmail.com. If you have podcast questions, you want to put a thing in the mail. CultPopGo@gmail.com.
Put a thing in the mail.
Put a thing in the email. Shut up.
No, mail us.
Bye.
Like okay, bye.
Love you. Mwah.